Tonight on EA Sports, it's a special prime time edition of the NFL on EA Sports.
EA Sports coverage of the National Football League is on the air. Tonight we put a bow on Week 15 with a good Monday night matchup between the Miami Dolphins and the New York Jets. From the 10, a dangerous return man showing it here. Solid return, pretty good field position. They'll start at the 32. So here come the Dolphins now as they get set to take over on offense. And leading them, Charles, their quarterback, their field general.
And he's certainly putting together an MVP-type season, leading the league in both passing yards and touchdown passes. There have not been too many defenses that have been able to stop him or even slow him down. So he's got his sights set on another big game right here.
From the 32 now, here's 1st and 10. Throwing to start the drive. Richardson. Oh, he's going to air it out right away. A leap and he's got it. He got it. And DP goes into Jets territory before being taken down. A huge play there right off the bat. So another on-target throw, and that last one, Charles, going to put him up over 5,000 yards passing out for the season, and that is not an insignificant number.
Indeed it is not, because this is not a big list, and most of the guys on it, Drew Brees, Peyton Manning, Tom Brady, Dan Marino, they either are or will be Hall of Famers.
The numbers for him from a week ago. And Charles, how do you think he ran the football?
I thought he definitely had his moments. I did think that they could have utilized him a little bit better, and I'm definitely going to keep an eye on him to see how they're going to use him this week.
Five yards remain on 2nd down. And he will take it in for a Dolphins touchdown. A 6-yard touchdown run. And the Dolphins are going to take a first-quarter lead.
If you didn't know it, it won't surprise you to find out that this team leads the league in scoring. They've been a quick strike team all season long. There's another example. They did it again. This offensive coordinator, right now, he can write his ticket towards being a head coach. He's advanced in the ways of offense.
The extra point splits the uprights, and it's now a 7-0 game. Scoring summary, 3-play drive, and it's capped off by a touchdown run of 6 yards. Set now to kick this one away, and off it goes. And they will not get a chance to return this one as it's through the end zone for a touchback. So now here comes the Jet offense as they get ready to take over. They're led out by a former number 2 overall pick in the draft from BYU, and Zach Wilson.
Would you say that last week's performance by him, workmanlike in terms of numbers?
1 touchdown, 1 pick, but obviously a loss.
Yeah, and that's the bottom line for him. All he cares about is how do we find a way to win the game. Maybe leans on a few other parts of the offense, and hopefully springs a receiver or 2 free.
On 1st down, Peoples. And he sneaks his way forward only for a couple here. 2nd down. These two teams, they met up earlier in the year back in week 2. And it was the visitors getting the win there, so they'll be looking for the sweep back here at home. 2nd down and 8. Out of the gun, here's Wilson. And a quick throw here, that's complete. We'll see what kind of mindset they have here offensively after giving up the touchdown on the opening drive.
And based on our time with them, prior to this game, I feel like they've got a good mindset going in. In fact, the discussion that we had with the coaching staff was, we may give up some points in this game, so offense has to be ready each and every time to either equal or try and get us ahead and try and keep us ahead. This is their chance to respond to that first touchdown given up.
And he gets this up across the 35 before he's out of bounds. 3 yards the gain there, 2nd down. Now it's Wilson. He's going to flip one out here to his running back. Just a gain of a couple there. And it'll be third down. This defense for the Dolphins, they were very solid last week in the victory over Baltimore.
In today's NFL, when you talk about goals for defenses, and you think that maybe you'd like to hold them under 14 points or so, we think our offense can usually get 17 to 20, so that's a reasonable goal. But when you hold a team under 100 yards of total offense, you're going to win. 99 times out of 100. And the one game you lose, you'll know who to blame.
So now 1st and 10 as they've crossed into Miami territory at the 49-yard line. Wilson. And his throw is incomplete.
Well, they've got man coverage on the outside, and my scouting report on these DBs tells me that they love to take matters in their own hands. They want man coverage, not zone. And there was good coverage there that forced the incompletion.
Now here's a throw that's complete. They get 6. That'll leave them with 3rd and 4.
One thing we do know, he's going to get his catches. So as they move forward defensively, got to continue to focus on not giving up the big play when he does catch the ball in the secondary.
Here's the 7th play of this drive. This is 3rd and 4. Again, Wilson. Throwing right, and that's complete. And he is going to have a Jets first down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion. Nice job keeping that opening drive alive, and they're in plus territory, that part of the field where you really want to convert on 3rd down. They did.
Big-time pickup for them, and now I think the aggressive play callers think to themselves, this part of the field, I take my shot at the end zone, because the closer you get to the end zone, the field gets condensed. It makes it a lot tougher to run those routes. You still got a chance to actually run past people right now. Take your shot at the end zone early in the down and distance count.
Tackled by Isaiah Simmons.
Well, they certainly had success throwing the ball on this drive, and not as much running it as we just saw once again on that last play. Stopped after a very short gain. But I wouldn't abandon the run totally, because otherwise, pass rushers just tee off on your quarterback. Makes it very, very difficult for him in that situation.
That catch now puts him on the doorstep of 500. It's his 499th reception. Throwing is Wilson. And he's going to hook up with his big tight end. Complete.
Let's just make this one simple. Could he be any more open than he was on that play?
And they lost him going to the outside.
Hard to believe, because you go through your accounting on each and every defensive snap. Who's got who, what defense you're in. That was totally a blown coverage.
3 yards the gain there, 2nd down.
And we see another pitch and catch there to the running back. This position just continues to evolve. They become just as critical to the passing attack as a lot of receivers, tight ends, because their ability to make people miss in the open field can really generate big plays for an offense.
On 2nd down now, Peoples. And he is met at the line of scrimmage, and he goes down right there. No gain on the play, and it's going to bring up a 3rd down. If you're going to run against this unit, especially down here, just beware. I mean, they're the top rushing defense in the league.
Yeah, and then they go ahead and they double down with the whole thing, because you think, okay, let's throw the ball. Oh, yeah, that's right. They defend the pass pretty well, too. Very difficult task right now.
Over the middle, complete. It's Moore. And he will be very close to a first down, but I see the closed fist of the referee, and that means 4th down.
Well, we hear so often how tackling has become almost a lost art in the NFL game. But it's so important to tackle well on these receivers, especially in a play like this one. 3rd down, they gave him the underneath stuff. You got to go up and make the tackle right away.
And this one is right through. And they are on the board, but still trailing. It's 7-3. So, yes, it's only 3, but at least they're able to answer back after giving up the touchdown to start the game.
Yeah, I like the observation there, because getting some points on the board, very positive for them. Feel a little bit better about things, because if you don't score, you potentially have opened the door for them to score again, and then you're down 14.
The Dolphins at the line, ready for their next drive. And they, on paper, Charles, no doubt they have the edge in this one. They are sitting with the AFC elite, and on the other side, they're down toward the bottom of the AFC. But you know what they say, especially at this point in the season, watch out for a trap game.
And in doing so, I would take my game plan and condense it. I would rely on my fundamentals, the fact that my players are probably just better, and not try and do too much, do just enough to win the game. And on the other side of the field, I'm doing everything. Every trick play I can think of, every different formation, you name it, I'm throwing it at them in order to try and get the upset win.
They'll run on first down. Sharp, and he'll take this into the end zone for a Dolphins touchdown. A great play there. His 6th touchdown of the season. And the Dolphins are able to strike quickly to add on to their lead. People always talk about one of his biggest strengths, running the football, vision, and he found the spot there, went into the end zone.
You're exactly right about that, and it wasn't just the vision, right? Once he saw the gap, decisiveness, made up his mind, and about the power to finish the play. Not only did he get good blocking, he created his own space as well.
Extra point right down the middle, and that pushes the lead up to 11. Well, they got the ball in great field position. One play later, boom, end zone. The kickoff team on the field now as they will send this one away. And that'll carry over the back line of the end zone for a touchback. So we take a look at the playoff picture in the AFC as the Jets come back out on offense. You know, in our research packet this week, prepping for the game, so many articles from the local beat writer about the offensive struggles of this team and what will they do this offseason. What do you think they'll do?
Well, number one, they'll turn to a self-scouting report. And every team that's any good does this. They have outside groups, check out their team, scout them, and tell you who can play, who can't play, and reasons why. Some of it may just be health. They have to get some guys healthy and back out on the field. But overall, evaluate this squad and make the changes that you need to.
That's into a crowd and intercepted. Picked off near the 34. And he's able to get it back to right around the 27.
And that's what we've seen from this defense all year long, because they've been so good at finding ways to take the football away. And they just gave us another example right here. A strong defense, that's something you're going to need to rely on come playoff time. And this crew has got one. There's no doubt about that, Brandon.
On first down, Singleton. And they'll work it inside the 15-yard line before it's all said and done. We should mention, to go along with a great game he had last week, he was rightfully named AFC Offensive Player of the Week.
And he shares that with his offensive line, the tight end, his fullback. He's looking for more and more of that in this game.
Here's a 1st and 10 at the 14-yard line. Now a handoff here to his running back. And he'll get about 3 just outside the 10, stopped at the 11.
Some of the most unselfish players on any football team, defensive tackles, because we ask them to just eat up blocks and allow other people to make tackles. But when he can make a play himself, as we just saw there, that's a big day.
Second down at 7. Gonna give this time to the tailback. And he will take it in for a Dolphins touchdown. A great effort there with his 2nd touchdown of the game, number 7 on the year. And the Dolphins are able to grow their lead. And a pair of rushing touchdowns now for him in the 1st quarter.
And I'm liking what I'm seeing from his big guys up front because they're winning the leverage game. How many times we talk about low man wins, right? Move the defensive front aside, create those gaps and holes. He's found his way through them for 2 touchdowns.
And after both of those touchdowns, he went right up to that O-line and hit each of them on the helmet. He recognized.
That's a smart man. You know what else he should do? If this continues, take them all to dinner.
The kickoff unit is out on the field, and they will send this one away. And this will be a touchback as that sails over the end line. New York ready to go again offensively. And following the interception, we'll see what they can put together on this drive.
I can hear my old college coach right now. He always used to tell us before every game, the team making the fewest mistakes will win. What they're hoping is that that last mistake is their only one of the game.
Coaches, that's all they talk about, turnovers, right?
Minimizing those and maximizing opportunities.
All right, rifles one, and that's going to be intercepted. Picked off around the 37, and he'll return it to the 24-yard line. And not the first quarter that he was hoping for. Now 2 interceptions thrown.
Well, the good ones, they find a way to compartmentalize, right? Put these behind them, have that short memory, but understand why they threw the 2 interceptions. They go on and usually play a pretty decent game. Other quarterbacks, they have a hard time getting past it and often put the ball up for grabs the rest of the ball game.
They'll run on first down. Singleton. And he'll take this ahead for about 4. Second down coming up. This offense, Charles, well, we've talked about how well they played all season. Sitting now at 13-0 and the finish line for a perfect regular season. That's in sight. Some in the media this week were pointing back to the 07 Patriots. Of course, remember, they finished the regular season unbeaten, but they were tested multiple times in that final month plus.
Yeah, with something like 4 of their last 6 wins were one-possession games, and they played like a team that was trying to protect something instead of chasing something. And that's what happens when you have an undefeated record. So it behooves you as a team, get a couple blowouts in there so you get a chance to relax and breathe. But that's much easier said than done. Usually we see runs like this as the defense breaks down later in the game, but this guy is setting the tone early, running through all types of tackles and putting the defense back on its heels.
This offense continues to be a hot knife through butter. 3 drives, 3 scores, and knocking on the door again on drive number 4. And he'll give it here to his running back. And he'll take this into the end zone for a Dolphins touchdown. A great play there with his 2nd touchdown in this opening quarter. And the Dolphins add on to their lead. Now, first quarter, and this lead is already getting into dangerous territory. They better be careful on the other sideline.
Yeah, it feels a little bit more like a basketball game where one team is pressing and that team can't get the ball over half court. I mean, it's stealing it and scoring it, layups, the whole deal. That's what it feels like right now. They are all over them.
Point after, right down the middle. And the route is on here in this first half. Out is the kickoff unit as they run up and send this one away. And this will not be returnable. It's out of the back of the end zone for a touchback. Now the Jet offense about to take over as they head out. Onto the field. And last time, one play interception. So this offense, they should be fresh.
That's a good way of putting it. And I can't wait to see what they decide to do with play calling, because a one-play drive where you throw an interception, a lot of people think the very next time out, run the football, don't give them a chance.
Maybe play action?
I think maybe you go play action, show your quarterback, get a little confidence in him, and let him fling another one.
And he's upended after a gain of 2 out to the 27. An entertaining start to this one. More to come on EA Sports. Eight yards to go on second down. Now a handoff here to his running back. And he'll push his way forward to about the 32. It'll be a gain of 5, but still about 3 yards shy of the first down marker, and now it's third down.
That's a really nice job by them picking up the run blitz and detecting it and blocking it and turning it into a nice run. And a lot of times you think if you blitz a running play, you're going to smother it. But a lot of the blitzers, they come in a little bit high. They don't have great leverage, and they're easily blocked and turned to the side.
Here's the Jets punter now, as he's on to punt for the first time tonight. Only 2 punts for him last week in the loss as he gets this one away. Taken in at the 22. That'll go as a 42-yard punt, but a net of 32. They had a 10-yard return, and it'll be Dolphin football. So the Dolphins offense heading out as we give you a look at the playoff race in the AFC. And for them, it's no longer a question of will they make the playoffs. They've clinched the division title. The question, can they hold on to that #1 seed?
And this is where the mental fortitude comes to play, doesn't it? Because now you're not just the coach talking about it, it's team talking about it to each other, supporting each other, carrying each other along, because having that #1 seed means everything in the NFL.
It does. So even though the division title's clinched, shouldn't take the foot off the gas.
No, not at all. Play it all the way through, and I think we've seen that in recent years in the NFL. The teams that play and play to win each and every game, they're the ones to deal with in the playoffs.
Now Richardson throwing on first down. That is caught by Cohen. And he's brought down.
Let's just call it what it is. This has been a flat-out struggle for this defense all game long. They've really had a hard time slowing them down. And while I'm not big on speeches and guys jumping up and down, they might need their team leader on defense to get in their face right now and light a fire under these guys. They've got to start playing better assignment football and start getting guys on the ground.
He'll get a nice chunk there on the first down run, and it's 2nd and 4.
And there's a run to be happy with. Good, solid yardage. He'll take that anytime you hand the ball to a back.
6 yards on that last play. Here's 2nd and 4. Gonna give this time to the tailback. And he gets it down to the 32.
So many teams want to throw the ball in this situation nowadays, but I love watching a team that has enough confidence to go ahead and run the football. In that situation, that's almost a tendency breaker.
From the 32 now, here's 1st and 10. Back to throw. Richardson. And a dangerous throw there, incomplete. He threw that into coverage. It was nearly intercepted.
They've given up a few first downs on this drive, but getting the incompletion there, that should give them something to build on and maybe turn the tide.
An incomplete pass on first down. That leads to a 2nd and 10. Looking to throw. Richardson. Oh, he's got a man wide open, complete. And he's brought down, but not before he reaches the 8-yard line.
Well, this is an awfully tough route to defend in man coverage because he lines up on the right and then runs a crossing route back to the other side of the field. So as a defender, you're not only trailing him the whole way, you're also looking out for your own guys to make sure you don't get yourself picked off. And then you can't catch up in time to prevent the completion.
They'll try and run for it on 1st and goal. Down at the 2. Broke through first contact, but ultimately stopped shy of the goal line. They give him 5 that time as they draw a bit closer here for a 2nd and goal. They'll try to run this one in. And he takes it into the end zone for the Dolphin touchdown. A great effort there. On his way to a monster game. 3 first-half touchdowns. And the Dolphins are able to widen their lead here in this first half.
Okay, we need to double-check here with Marvin because he keeps all of our good stats. But what I've got is 5 drives, 5 touchdowns, and they've got a nice, healthy lead.
Well, after the first drive, we thought things might be clicking. They're really clicking at this point. They're clicking about as much as they can click.
And right
I just said click a lot.
Yes, you did, but that's okay because the guy who's coordinating the defense, trying to slow them down.
Good luck.
He's going to have hair that looks like mine very soon. Not much of it.
From a couple yards deep, he'll bring it out of the end zone. And they'll get him down right at the 25-yard line, so the same result, and he opted for the touchback. Back on offense, New York gets set to take over. And they're coming off a 3-and-out, my friend.
I think they've got to look at that play sheet and go to a spot that they haven't gone before. Time to shake things up a little bit to try and get this offense moving.
Okay, so how do you do that? How do you shake things up?
You look at what you called before, realize it hasn't worked
Go to
so
something
well,
else.
and maybe try and find one of those special plays from one of your better players, and maybe try and hit something big and get things going in the excitement area.
So from the 36 now, 1st and 10. And he'll give it here to his running back. And he sneaks his way forward only for a couple here. 2nd down.
Certainly a nice job there by the defense rallying to the football and getting him on the ground, but I think the play gets made by the defensive front because if they can't get upfield, their job is to go ahead and get low, almost get into a ball sometimes, stack things up, and make it difficult for the runner to find a hole. Well, they didn't get a whole lot out of that one, but I think you've got to continue to try and run and try and keep the defense honest.
You mean or else they'll just sit back, dare you to throw it on every down?
Yeah, you get your quarterback hit a lot that way, too.
Now they set up the screen. That's complete. And he gets this to the other side of midfield across the 45 before going out.
Now that's the kind of big play you'd like to see. This first half, it hasn't gone their way, and they could use a shot in the arm, something to perk them up a bit. And they get one here in the passing game.
On 1st and 10, it's Wilson. And the Dolphins rush gets home. Down he goes. That one will set him back nearly 10 yards here on 1st down on the sack.
And they're picking up right where they left off with the shutout that they pitched last week. A huge part of that, this pass rush. They know how to get after people.
Offensively, good luck finding some answers right now. After the sack, it's 2nd and 19, and the road gets a bit tougher from here. Here's Wilson. And for the 3rd time here in this half, it's intercepted. Picked off at the 48.
Ooh, Lord.
And he will bring it back. It's a pick 6 and a Dolphins touchdown. Now remember, this is the #1 defense in the National Football League. There's a good example of why.
Shows that they set an aggressive tone, not just stopping the run, not just getting after the quarterback, but the ball's in the air. They treat it like they're the receivers, and they went after that one and took it all the way.
Extra point splits the uprights, and the route is on here in this first half. So the defense creating some points, not only getting the interception, but then returning it to the end zone for the pick 6. And here comes a return from just beyond the goal line. And ultimately cannot get this out to the 25-yard line as he's dropped at the 23. Zach Wilson and the Jet offense set to take over here. So the New York offense taking over for their next possession. And they just had that pick six. I guess the only positive maybe them returning that for a touchdown. This offense right back out onto the field to try to make up for it. And for the fourth time tonight, it's an interception. He's picked off just shy of midfield. And they'll set up shop right near midfield at the 49-yard line. Week after week, we're seeing plays like this from him, and I think he's in line. We've discussed it before for NFL Defensive Player of the Year.
And a big reason why, I think, is because of his ball skills. And that's something that, for guys of his position, they've talked about it for years. They've done the drills. But they've really increased it in recent seasons because of the offense have gotten so good. He knows how to take the ball away. That is huge for a defender.
41 yards on the ground for him so far. And that looked like some pretty easy yardage there right up the gut.
And he's a guy that has some height to him. So when you don't have to drop a shoulder or create or get through contact or trash, makes it a lot easier to stay upright, see the field, and make a run as we just saw there.
Now a handoff here to his running back. And he's going to get this inside the 30. The CD a lot of times like to separate speed and quickness, and they've got a back that's both. We know that he's fast in the open field, but man, his first step is so quick too.
It is something, isn't it? Because you think of that type of speed getting to the perimeter and turning upfield, but also when you run those inside runs, he can get into the secondary so fast, the linebackers don't have a chance to react.
Back-to-back good plays have him on the move on first down. And to give this time to the tailback. And he'll manage to pick up about 4. It's second down.
Well, on every play call, you realize it's not going to go for a touchdown. So a lot of your calls are setting things up for maybe later in the game, trying to establish the inside run with toughness now, hopefully get to the perimeter later. And let's face it, you could do worse than a 4-yard run on first down.
Coming up on a 2nd and 6. And he'll give it here to his running back. And he's going to take this one down to about the 23-yard line. 2 yards the gain there, and now they're left with a 3rd and about 4 for a first.
In order to play really good run defense when you're playing a 3-4, those 3 guys up front, the nose tackle and the guys they call the defensive ends, they're usually big people because they're going to have to eat up a lot of blockers because it's usually 5-on-3. And when they do their job well, guys who play on the inside, those inside linebackers, they're able to just roam and hit.
On 3rd down, Mullins. And he picks up the first down yardage as he takes this one down to the 15. From the red zone now, they'll look to throw. I'm not sure he saw the linebacker there as that's batted down. And incomplete. Here's 2nd and 10. From the gun, he'll hand this off. And he'll get it here to the 10-yard line. 5 yards, now it's 3rd and 5.
That 2nd down play call was not to pick up the first down. It was to accomplish what they did to get them into a manageable 3rd down because they had incompletion on first down, so they were behind the sticks, so to speak. They needed to make up some ground, and they did.
Now a handoff here to his running back. He didn't get the touchdown, but he did get the first down as he's tackled at the 1.
We both know it's difficult, but they've made it look effortless out there. Through the air, on the ground, they've moved the ball with relative ease.
A chance to really cap off a big first half here as they come up on 1st and goal. And they'll let the fullback try and take him home. And he will take it in for a Dolphins touchdown. It's the fullback. His 17th touchdown now on the season. And the Dolphins just continue to pour it on.
That score that they just gave up there, that's a tough one for their defense to swallow because they've had a tough time through the first 2 quarters. They really were determined to get a stop there, unable to do so. That makes their comeback hopes that much more difficult.
Extra point right down the middle, and the lead will swell by 1 more. Set now to kick this one away, and off it goes. No run back here, down to a knee, and this drive will start at the 25. The Jets going to take over now late in this first half. And with a little under a minute remaining, they may try to put something together here just to try to cut into that deficit. They go back to the air here after the INT on the last drive. They'll try and set up the screen. It's complete. The Jets are going to use the first of their timeouts as they get the stoppage with just under 50 seconds remaining in half number 1. To throw again on 2nd down. Wilson. And his throw's going to be incomplete.
I hate to say it, Charles, but the way that he has played in this first half, you just kind of hold your breath every time he drops back to pass.
Yeah, you might be holding your breath, but those guys on the defensive side of the ball, they've got big smiles on their faces. He's handing out picks like the people just leave the candy out at Halloween and you take what you want. They're having a blast out there playing against him today.
And they'll indeed stop him on 3rd down. And now what do you want to do with your timeouts? Here's the Jets punter now, as he'll punt it away for the 2nd time. His first punt, 45 yards. This looks good as well. Fielded at the 20. So we've reached halftime here, and it's the visiting Dolphins taking a lead to the locker room. As we'll get you down the coast to Orlando for Jonathan Coachman at our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach.
All right, Brandon, thanks very much. We'll get back to you and Charles in a minute. But first, time to give the folks at home a look at what's going on around the NFL. Next, we head off to check out another game. And they were losers in that game as they fall to the visiting Detroit Lions. The Lions keep their postseason hopes alive as the victory runs their mark to 8-6 on the year. Lastly, let's head to Paul Brown Stadium in Cincinnati, see what's happening with the Bengals. And they were winners in that one over the visiting Raiders. Joe Burrow, excellent in the victory, as it's one that pushes his guys 2 games above 500. Meanwhile, our game has been a boat race, very one-sided to this point. And for the call of the second half, let's get it back to our commentating team of Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
All right, Coach, thank you very much as we welcome you back for quarter number 3.
The Jets going to get the football first, and they trail as well as we get back underway in this second half. And they will not get a chance to return this one as it's through the end zone for a touchback.
Zach Wilson and the Jet offense set to take over here.
Any surprise in your mind he's out there to start the second half after 4 first-half interceptions?
He's to be surprised by a lot of things, partner, but in this case I'm not, because you know they want him to be their guy. And the only way to truly establish that is to give him a chance to work through some of the issues he had in the first half.
Jets offense coming up now to start their next drive. And not much to speak of. Call it a 1-yard gain up to the 26. And they have a mountainous deficit looming in front of them. It was really, Charles, a disaster of a first half. So where do they go from here?
Well, first thing they have to remember is that what's done is done, and there's no going back. And now you have to play this drive by drive. Obviously, come back in this spot, pretty unlikely, but you still have to go out, take pride in your work, and try and put something together here in the second half.
The reception good for 7. It's third down. That's a staple of this offense. Drag route to the tight end.
Yeah, he's unable to use his size to break off much more yardage after the catch, but still an effective gain nonetheless.
On third down, Peoples. And he'll be taken down, but he does have first down yardage.
Well, they certainly haven't been able to get him going and establish the run, so I think it's time to abandon that plan and start chucking it all over the park. And you know who's excited about that? The defensive front. They got a chance to pin their ears back and get after him now.
Now Wilson on first down. Now they go screen. It's complete. Shoves him aside. That catch good for only a couple.
Boy, that was certainly well-read defensively, and the key to any screenplay is space to work, and there was none to be found there, and they tackle it for just a short gain.
To the 40 and no further. So the broken tackle didn't get him much.
He's definitely tough to get down. We just saw it right there, but how about what we did see? Pursuit, wrap up, and then the big finish with the tackle.
Now Wilson. The Dolphins get there this time, and they bring him down. The defense rising to the challenge and setting him back on the sack. And that sack certainly just strengthening his candidacy for Defensive Player of the Year. You think he's got that one in the bag yet?
I'm not willing to vote quite yet just because I want to wait until the season's over, but he is really tracking towards it. Just look at all the great plays we've seen from him throughout the season. Strength plays that you referenced there, as well as agility plays. They just have not found a way to block him consistently.
So here are the Dolphins now. They get ready for their first possession of the second half. And last time out, another touchdown. And I think there may be some empty seats around here by the time the fourth quarter comes around.
Yeah, I have to agree with you because this one's just about decided. But you know who benefits from all those empty seats?
He's got it. Touchdown, Dolphins. A big play there. Touchdown number 22 on the season. And the Dolphins have got it on cruise control. This offense, they were dynamic in the first half. The halftime break, that didn't slow them down at all. Big strike here in the third quarter.
It's almost as if they were saying, it's not just our skill in the first half that's getting this done, it's confidence as well. And confidence has taken over this game in a big way. How about these strikes that we're seeing?
Point after, right down the middle. And that will extend this big lead. Well, the offense wasn't out there for a long time, but they were out there for a good time. One play, and they're able to hit pay dirt. The kickoff team on the field now as they will send this one away. And that'll carry over the back line of the end zone for a touchback. And New York set to take the field. They have been struggling. I would imagine at halftime they went through some possible changes. Well, those changes aren't working, so now where do you go?
I think that now it's much more in their head. And what I mean by that is just what you said. You've gone over the changes. I bet they were pretty clinical at the half, not too emotional. They might need to go to the emotional side because you've got to find something, some spark somewhere. And so far, just being calm hasn't exactly worked.
They need any spark at this point. They'll keep it on the ground. Peoples. And he'll be brought down right around the 37.
Getting had a ton of success here so far, but you get the feeling that he might be on the verge of popping one.
Yeah, even on that one, there was a little bit of a hole, but it closed there quickly at the end.
Not today, you are. Not today. Mark 56. Mark 56.
They'll throw on first down with Wilson. And it's a short one here, complete to the tight end. And this winds up a gain of 4 to the 41.
It's vitally important to wrap him up immediately, because if you let that big guy get a head of steam up, boy, then you've got real trouble trying to get him down.
But they're able to hold him to a short gain on first down. On second down, Peoples. Only a yard of the pickup there, and it'll bring up a third down.
They know that old expression, it's not my night. It hasn't been his so far. I don't know if the legs are a little bit heavy. Sometimes having to hang out all day and play doesn't exactly play to your advantage, but it's been a tough go for him.
And every time he looks up, somebody's there defensively. That was the same case on that play. And he is going to have a Jets first down by about a yard as they find a way to convert there on third down and 5. 2 first downs have them up near midfield now on 1st and 10.
56,
Here's Wilson. Quick hitter here, it's complete. And they'll get him down as he's inside the 40.
There's a nice pickup right there, and after watching that play, I'm thinking about all the lost opportunities that they've had so far in this game. But right now, just focus on continuing to move the ball the way they did on the last play.
On first down, Peoples. And they will only muster a yard here to the 38.
Well, sometimes you just have to give credit to the defense. Great job there at the point of attack, holding up. They won their battles at the line of scrimmage, left him no space to try and run. A really nice job swarming to the ball carrier.
On 2nd and 9, Wilson finding his safety valve here. That's complete. Call it a gain of 3 on the play. And they're going to face a third down.
I know it was a gain, but you have to sense probably a little bit of disappointment there, because when it's out there in open space, I think they expect to get more out of a play, don't you?
Especially when you're getting it to your guy out of the backfield. You're expecting him to be able to create something. And my goodness, another interception. Picked off at the 33, 30, 10, and he will bring it back. It's a pick 6 and a Dolphins touchdown. This D wanting to put it away before we even get to the 4th quarter, widening that margin a bit further.
And while they won't just empty the bench just yet, if you're a backup, start loosening up. I think you'll get a chance to play before this one is over now with that type of a cushion.
A try here for the extra point. And the lead grows even larger here in the 3rd quarter. A heck of a play there defensively, getting the interception, navigating his way into the end zone for the touchdown. So they throw the pick 6. They'll get another shot at it now as this one's in the air. And this will be a touchback as that sails over the end line. New York's offense back out there and set to go. And last time, decent field position through the pick 6. Obviously costly.
But they can't afford to just bunker in now. All right, good field position means go ahead and attack on offense. Try and press the advantage a little bit. They just have to be better with the football on this possession.
So the last one didn't bother you too much last time?
No, because it's exactly what you're supposed to do. You can't have good field position, not try to take advantage of it. Sometimes the defense makes a good play, too.
They'll keep it on the ground. It's man, and he's able to take this one up to the 35-yard line.
Offensive linemen love creating space for their guys carrying the ball, but when that guy also breaks tackles and creates extra yardage, they almost feel like he's one of them, and they really embrace him.
Check 56.
On first down, Wilson. Nowhere to go here. He lost the football. There, the Dolphins have got it. Defense, they were swarming that time and ultimately got to him before he could get rid of the football and knocked it free.
And don't you feel just a little bit of sympathy for him back there, though? So much going on, so much swirling around. He's trying to find someone downfield. He's trying to move around to find an open target. Sometimes you forget the number one thing, take care of the football.
So 1st and 10, and if they score on this drive, might have to start digging into our second half blowout material. They run the counter. It's Mullins. And down he goes, taking it inside the 10, just shy of the 5 at the 6. 41 yards rushing for him now on just his first 3 carries. That was excellent from start to finish, from the blocking to the running, just well executed.
And now let's look ahead, because after that, how about a little play action, maybe a little bootleg? and get the quarterback out on the corner and give him a little run-pass option.
And they're right down here looking for 6.
Strong right, strong right, strong right. Alert, alert. 3 down, 3 down. Watch one, watch one.
They'll try and run for it on 1st and goal. And he's able to get it down to the 2-yard line. A pickup of 4 on 1st down. It'll be 2nd and goal.
Well, you certainly have to give a little credit here because they're playing this game now at their pace. This is ball control football, sustained runs, taking their time, and making it work.
From the 2 now, 2nd and goal.
Double tight, guys, double tight. Hey, hurt. 36, 36. He's coming. Double up, double up. He's coming, double up.
They'll try to run this one in. And he'll take this into the end zone for a Dolphins touchdown. Taking it in from 2 yards out. And the Dolphins use the short field to their advantage as they cash in for 6. And that rushing touchdown, his 4th, puts him just 1 shy of the NFL record in a single game.
And we all know he would love to get to that record and even beyond it, but he doesn't need to in order to impress in this one, does he? What a performance. What an absolute great game that he's had here in this one.
Extra point splits the uprights, and the lead will swell by 1 more. The kickoff unit is out on the field, and they will send this one away. And this will not be returnable. It's out of the back of the end zone for a touchback. The Jets offense now works their way back onto the field. And the turnover last time, that's sort of been symptomatic of their struggles here in this one.
Big word. I like it, though, because you're exactly
You
right.
like that, don't you?
All game long, they've struggled moving the ball, turning it over on the last possession. Is that word again, symptomatic?
Yeah.
I like that.
You're an out. And the Dolphins rush gets home. Down he goes. It looks like a 12-yard loss there on the 1st down sack.
He's the NFL sack leader coming into the game, and now that's 2 more that he's added to his total.
He wants some separation from spot 1 and 2 in that sack category.
Mike 56, Mike 56.
Throwing on 2nd and long. Wilson. And this one incomplete. Too much contact to hold on to that one, and it's 3rd down.
The passing windows are just not there. That's just another example of how great this defense has been all game long.
And that's exactly what a top 10 defense can do. They can really change the game tempo and frustrate you as you try to execute offensively.
To the right side, and he's got more complete. They get 7 there, but it brings up 4th.
One hallmark of good defenses is understanding the game, understanding positioning, and tackling immediately in the secondary after catches. I think we just saw that on display right there.
Got to him before he ever had a chance to think about turning it upfield. It's a 39-yard punt, 8 on the return, and out will come the offense as they take over. Out comes the Miami offensive unit now. They get set to take over. They are just putting things together so well here, drive after drive. They really have captured the momentum, haven't they?
They've taken momentum and pretty much not just given him a jersey, but a seat on the bench as well. Whatever do you need, you've got it, because the way they're stringing things together and creating that distance between them and their opponent is really hard to narrow that gap. And the other part is they're taking their spirit away from them, too.
And now they're just looking to add to that total. And showcasing those strong legs on that run, getting through 1 tackle. Now she winds up getting 8 there. Here as we wrap up the week on a Monday night. We'll return with more after this. This is the NFL, and it's on EA Sports. 8 yards the tally on that 1st down run. Here's 2nd and 2. And to give this time to the tailback. And he's
He's going to get this down near the 30-yard line.
62 yards rushing now on 8 carries for him so far.
I tell you, they didn't give it to him much for the first 3 quarters, but when they have, he's been efficient. Maybe they ride him more here down the stretch.
Yeah, not sure it was actually in the game plan for him to have as few carries as he has, but it might play out really well for them now. As you noted, if they want to ride him down the stretch, he should have fresh legs.
Back-to-back good plays have him on the move on first down. And he'll give it here to his running back. And down inside the 15 he goes.
At carries like that, that's how they're going to continue to salt this thing away here, Charles, in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, how about that? A new set of downs. Clock continues to move. No better way to close out a game than to tap those mastodons you have up front and say, guys, keep pounding them. Let's keep the ball, keep their offense on the sidelines, and let's close this one out.
Here's a 1st and 10 at the 14-yard line.
They run the counter. It's Mullins. He's taken down at the 7 after a gain of 7.
I know that every now and then we get in those meetings with coaches, and you almost want to roll your eyes when they talk about staying on schedule when they're moving the football. But would you say a 7-yard run is ahead of schedule?
Fourth quarter with the lead, you love that, don't you?
No doubt about it, because staying on schedule is trying to get 4 downs on first down. They did that plus 3.
A good run got 7 on first. Here's 2nd and 3. They run the counter. Singleton. And he is met quickly in the backfield. Down he goes, folded like a lawn chair. It'll be a loss of a yard, and that's going to lead to a 3rd and 4 coming up.
With his size, he's a tough man to bring down, but they do a nice job there stopping his progress and not allowing him to get back to the line of scrimmage.
And defensively going with a dime set. 6 DBs on 3rd and 4. They'll keep it on the ground. Singleton. He didn't get the touchdown, but he did get the first down as he's tackled at the 1.
Brandon, when a defense just simply can't get off the field on 3rd down, and we all know how important that down is for both sides of the ball, you often feel like you're just a step behind whatever they're doing offensively.
And one of the differences in this game, no doubt, 3rd down conversion, and that is going to be a story they'll talk about after this one. And they'll turn to a power game to try to get in. And he will take it in for a Dolphins touchdown. A great play there. His 2nd touchdown of the night.
And the Dolphins add on to their lead, and it's looking like that win streak is going to extend another week.
Extra point right down the middle, and that will extend this big lead. So that drives 7 plays in length, and it ends with a 1-yard touchdown run. Out is the kickoff unit as they run up and send this one away.
From a yard or 2 deep, here comes a return. And he'll be brought down at the 28-yard line, so the decision to bring it out of the end zone gets him 3 more.
And as this offense makes their way back out, it's AFC playoff race time as we give you a look.
Well, I think that the folks here had hoped that maybe this home atmosphere would carry their guys to a surprise victory, but it does not appear that that's going to be the case. There's too much to handle on the other side of this one.
And down right around the 32-yard line, 4 yards on the pickup. One thing I think that's safe to say defensively, the tackling's been really good.
And because of that, it's been very, very hard for them to move the ball because you're not getting the benefits of run after catch. They're tackling them almost on the spot. That means you have to run extra plays, harder to move it.
Mike, 56, right there, 56. Let's go, defense.
Throwing again on 2nd down. Wilson. Now he'll dump it underneath to his running back, complete. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line.
Well, this game was decided a while ago, and that completion there is going to artificially inflate his passing numbers. So right now, the only one really applauding probably his agent as he thinks about angling for a new contract.
They'll contain him to just 4. Second down.
All defenses worry that whenever anyone catches the ball and has a head of steam coming out of the backfield, it can turn into a big play with missed tackles or he runs through people. But they were right there waiting, and they stopped him for a minimal gain.
To throw again is Wilson.
And that falls to the ground, incomplete. A nice job of bodying him up defensively, and now it brings up third down.
So after the second down incompletion, they'll come up now against a 3rd and 6. Wilson. And now here's another interception.
Picked up by Javon Holland.
And he will bring it back. It's a pick 6 and a Dolphins touchdown. That's the story of the game. They've been suffocating all game long on defense. They were suffocating there again in a big way.
And they've done it not just by out-athleting them, which is often the case, but by being able to adjust to anything they tried to throw at them and beating them to the punch each and every time. This was a defense that was well prepared.
So they'll get another shot on offense following that pick 6, and now the kick is away.
From a couple yards deep, he'll bring it out of the end zone. And beyond the 20, but not by much. In fact, just a yard pass there to the 21. The New York offense taking over for their next possession. We certainly had a sense coming in here that these guys were in for a tough one on the road. That has been how this ball game has played out. They trail big as we...
Now the pressure comes and he goes down. Just inside the 10, back at the 9. The defense rising to the challenge and setting him back on the sack.
We've been around this league for a while, and many coaches never pull their starting quarterback, almost no matter the situation. In this case, though, I think he's got to make a decision. He's taking a pretty good beating out there.
Yeah, and with the deficit, maybe not wanting to risk an injury. To try again after the sack, Wilson. And he will bring it back. It's a pick 6 and a Dolphins touchdown.
Good job, good job.
Defensively, they've had their way in this one. That pick 6 makes that scoreboard even more lopsided.
I remember talking with a guy in the league, and I said, what do you do when the game's like this? You know, it's pretty much over. You ready to go to the bench and hang out? And he said, oh, heck no. I want to stay on the field. I might get some stats. Might get a pick or two.
You like being out there at the end of these wide margins.
When they have to throw it, that gives you more opportunities to go get it.
Point after, right down the middle. And the lead will swell by one more. So they throw the pick 6. They'll get another shot at it now as this one's in the air.
And here comes a return from just beyond the goal line. And he's up past the 20 to the 22-yard line.
And the Jets set to take the field.
And you can sort of sense their dejection. That last pick 6 put the icing on the cake, so to speak, in what has been a rough go for them.
Switch up, switch up. Back 55, back 55.
Back to the air, Wilson after the pick 6.
And a dangerous throw there as that's knocked down and incomplete. Another throw there off the mark, and obviously he's battled all of the interceptions. Things just haven't been true to form for him. I don't know. What do you think's going on out there, CD?
That's a great question, and my suspicion is he's been coached really well to not show that he's having a problem. You know, they always tell you no matter what, you keep throwing the football with confidence. Well, we're not seeing a confident thrower right now. He's off balance, the passing game's off balance, and the defense is taking advantage.
Dolphins bring on an extra defensive back on third down.
What you got, Heavy? What you got, Heavy? Give me some. Give me some.
From the shotgun, Wilson.
And this pass broken up. The contact well timed there, and now fourth down.
That's an excellent job right there on third down. Like any defense, you never want to let them get anything started, and that would have been a first down. Instead, you saw the contact on time, no penalty, and before this drive could get wings, it's fourth down.
A very good return there. Give him an even 20 yards. And the offense will take over with a new set of downs.
Miami set to take over.
And, Charles, we are in the midst of a very one-sided affair. I think this is where you and I have to fill a little bit. You want to regale us with old stories of your childhood in New Paltz, New York?
I don't think anyone wants to hear that, but this is a perfect time for us to start listing MVP candidates, right? Best teams we've seen so far this year, the best games that we've called thus far, how we anticipate the season unfolding. We can go in so many different directions because the game certainly not taking us there.
Oh, I hear the remotes clicking off right now. After the pickup of 5, here's 2nd and 5. They'll try and run some clock here as they keep it on the ground. And he'll be brought down, it looks like right at the 40.
79 yards on the ground for him now with 4 touchdown runs tacked on.
Well, that's a carry they have to be satisfied with. And throughout this game, they've been satisfied with what he's given them. Whenever they've needed a big run, a first down, he's the guy they've turned to. And it doesn't matter what the defense thinks. They feel like they've got the confidence to keep handing it to him and keep picking up good yardage.
They'll run on first down. Sharp. And he's taken down inside the 30. Another example of this offense really having their way, Charles, and another big chunk play there on the ground.
And when you look at the defense, they've got to do a much better job of wrapping up when they tackle. A lot of great opportunities continue to slip through their fingers, as do the runners.
First down, Singleton, and he'll take this ahead for about 4. 2nd down coming up.
Brandon, I've got to think this offensive line has got some smiles on its faces, and I know it sounds crazy, but they practiced for this back in training camp. They knew they'd be in situations where it'd be extra defenders in the box coming after them, trying to keep them from locking down a game. Right now, they want to show the world they're up to the challenge.
Just 2 minutes remaining here in the 4th quarter of what has been a one-sided affair. So the Dolphins have it as we welcome you back in. They've got a 2nd down now as they look to salt this one away. Now a handoff here to his running back. This will be a short gain of 3 before he's brought down at the 22.
Well, praise has to go to the guys on the offensive line because they've had a very nice, productive day running the football. How about that poor defensive line? They've been knocked around the entire game, and while they slowed them down on that run, can they continue to do so? Because they haven't had much success throughout this ball game.
The coverage unit out there thinking pass on 3rd and 3.
And to give this time to the tailback. And down inside the 15, shy of the 10.
No doubt those are the types of carries they're looking for here, Charles. The lead in the 4th quarter. This is when coaches that have a reliable running game, they breathe a little easier on the sideline.
Yeah, they love the idea that they can take the air out of the football at this point of the game. That means they're really counting on that offensive line, counting on the runners, taking care of the football. Because you're going to tell your quarterback, hey, no time to be a hero. We're not going to throw it here. Just eat up that clock. And if you have the ball, they can't score.
And he can't quite get there. Tackled down at the 1. A lot to praise on this drive, obviously. I know you're seeing what I'm seeing. Those guys up front, they're getting it done.
Doesn't matter what play is called. They are handling their business at the line of scrimmage and dominating right now on this drive.
Well, they probably don't need to run a play here, but you wonder if they're going to be able to resist on 1st and goal. They'll try to run this one in, and he will get into the end zone. It's another touchdown. This thing is ugly.
Well, business as usual for them. Well on their way to another victory. Riding a serious wave of momentum from what we've seen. And so far, they haven't met their match. So if you're going to play this team in the future, your mission is clear. You better be ready to play and match their firepower.
Now the try here for the point after. Now this one was over a while ago as they just add on to their big lead. So that drive goes 8 plays, and it ends with a 1-yard touchdown run. Set now to kick this one away, and off it goes. From a yard or two deep, here comes a return. And he'll wind up getting a couple extra yards here for his trouble of bringing it out of the end zone as he's down at the 27. The New York offense taking over for their next possession. This is just an exercise in futility. Do you even bother running a play here offensively?
I wouldn't.
And my goodness, another interception. Picked off at the 47. And the Dolphins come up with a late turnover, but it will probably only matter to the statisticians as this ball game is now officially over. Well, Charles, it's one thing to win. It's another thing to win and put up the amount of points that they did. Boy, were they clicking on offense.
They can't help but feel great about themselves, can they? I mean, what a game to put up that number of points, continually feeling like they're moving the ball and things are working and clicking. They think that they can bottle this and carry it with them.
And as an offensive coordinator, you just don't think you can do anything wrong. Whatever you call, run, pass, it's all going to work.
That's called being in the zone.
So for the Dolphins, they move ever closer to the perfect regular season as they run things to 14-0. And they'll get another road date next week. Meanwhile, for the Jets, they drop their 10th game now to fall to 4-10. And they'll be at home next week for a date with the Tennessee Titans. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. Alongside Charles Davis, we thank our entire crew. I'm Brandon Gaudin. This is the NFL on EA Sports.